Good evening, YouTube. Once again, it's four middle-aged dudes just bullshitting about nothing. This is the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
Theory515.
We're going to continue on with the Geek Week in Review. Interesting stuff. We covered a little bit of video game stuff before. There was kind of rumors and conjecture as far as Nintendo goes. Now we're going to cover the downside of video games. Some of the stuff that wasn't so happy.
And NX wasn't a downside?
What was that?
I said the NX wasn't a downside.
No, the fact that they were delaying Zelda, that was the downside, okay? But basically, you know, with the game industry being the way that it is, we wish everybody could succeed, but not everybody keeps their doors open. One of the, I want to say one of the more highly regarded studios out there, Lionhead Studios, made it official. I know that Microsoft started canceling all of their projects, but they made it official a few days ago, and they informed everybody that they would indeed not be pursuing developing any further projects, and that they were going to be closing down the studio. Thoughts all around, gentlemen?
Yeah. It's never a good news when a studio shuts down. With that being said, I don't know what the fuck Microsoft is thinking. It's obvious not good when a studio closes. Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard thing, and I mean, we'll go into the particulars of Lionhead in a little bit. And any thoughts, theory or theme?
From what I understand, Lionhead itself was a decent company. You know what I mean? I know they had a lot of their PC releases. None of them I actually had the opportunity to play. As far as consoles go, I did play Fables. I have 1, 2, and 3. I'm a little ashamed to even say that I have 3, but I have it.
Okay.
And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Xbox can't afford to be closing down companies like this. They can't. You know what I mean? Rather than shutting it down and repurposing or whatever it is they're planning on doing, why not just give Lionhead a new IP to run? You know what I mean? I mean, the idea
is Microsoft and 343, they only make Halo.
Yeah.
That's why. Look, didn't mean to cut you off there, Theory, but this is very, very fucking sad. When Fable Legends was announced last year, that was one of the big things that people were actually looking forward to. Mm-hmm. Even though a lot of people were iffy about it, it was still a first-party title. And then the cancellation came, and everybody was like, "Uh-oh, this is in trouble here." So now with Atlas, with Lionhead just going, and yeah, that's just. What next?
I mean, the thing that I think the worst part about the canceling of Fable Legends was the fact that Lionhead was pretty much at the point where they're like, well, could we actually get this in somebody else's hand, another publisher's hand, to go ahead and send it out? I think they're at a really hard point where it was like, no, we don't even have the money to shop it around to anybody else. And you know, the thing about Microsoft is that they don't publish any of their own games, and Lionhead was a big part of Microsoft Game Studios. Mm-hmm. And as we know, as we've seen over the last few years, the games actually coming out of Microsoft Game Studios are pretty much reduced to nothing over the last few years, which is a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. You know, the thing with Lionhead Studios is that it was founded by Peter Molyneux after he left Electronic Arts. This was after Electronic Arts had purchased Bullfrog Studios. And what happened was that basically they went ahead, they let Bullfrog Studios go out of their way and publish a crap load of games. Let me see here. I'll go through the list here. Basically, Populous, Syndicate, Theme Park, and Dungeon Keeper was their last game that they put out. Peter Molyneux was actually one of the he became one of the executive guys at EA, and after he decided to leave was when EA decided to go ahead and dissolve Bullfrog Studios. He went on to create Lionhead, where he went on to go ahead and create more games for the PC, mostly Black and White, Godus, let's see here, and also the other one, which was really big on PC, which actually was probably the closest game that the game that closest came to his original vision was the movies. Once that happened, Xbox 360 came out. That's when Lionhead was purchased by Microsoft Game Studios to basically just work on Fable and work on Fable only. As successful as Fable is, and as received as it wasn't the multi-million selling title that Microsoft had hoped that the series would be, which is kind of the reason why it kind of led up to them not being able to do that. And the funny thing about if you're familiar with the history of Peter Molyneux, it's not fully Microsoft's fault. Peter Molyneux has each and every one of his games that he puts out. You are basically God of whatever happens. All right, you are playing God in almost all of the games that he puts out, or you influence the game as much where everything that you do influences a part of the game. And a lot of the games that he's put out, he'll promise you the moon and the stars, and in the end, maybe give you something that resembles what he originally promised. Like I know the movies that was in development for almost 4 or 5 years before it finally came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when it finally came out, part of the reason why it finally came out was because Activision was like, we are not giving you any more money.
It was addictive as hell too. I will say, it was addictive as hell.
Oh yeah, it was a great title. It was a great title, and like I said, it's probably his only title that came close to his original vision of the game, especially after they released the expansion where they gave you the ability to sit there and edit from a fully controlled 3D roaming camera and all of that. You know, it came really, really close. But with Black and White, Godus, and everything else, where hey, you can sit there, shape the land, shape the people, shape your animals to do whatever you do. Came close, but not quite ever reaching his total vision for any game. So, yeah, pretty sad. Any other thoughts on the game studio closure, guys?
Nope. Saw it coming.
Unfortunately, a lot of people did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't want it to go this way, but with them closing down company after company after company and canceling Fable, it was like, yeah, this is where it's going.
Oh no, they wouldn't do that. It's one of their first-party developers. One of their major first-party titles is a part of this. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't close it down.
Yeah. Heard that one a billion times.
Okay. And they didn't look at Microsoft's history as far as closing down certain studios that belong to them.
Yeah.
And I just hate to see any company shut down because that's less games that we get to use. You know?
Exactly. That's the major blow that it is to us.
Just an all-around bad situation. It wasn't like Lionhead wasn't capable of making good games. You know,
Right.
It's happened before.
I think the thing with Lionhead, especially under the leadership of Peter Molyneux, is that if he scaled back his vision just a little bit, and if he was able to scale his vision back, concentrate on a more focused experience, and polish that up, he probably would have ended up with a lot more, not only critically acclaimed games, but also commercially acclaimed games. Because a lot of the games that Peter Molyneux put out under Lionhead Studios were, critics were, oh, this is great, but when it actually ended up in front of the players, unless you were willing to go ahead and invest that time and slog through that learning curve in order to get to the point where they're actually doing everything that was intended for you to do in the game, it really was. They weren't always the most user-friendly games.
No, they were not.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I never got around to playing Black and White, and I really wanted to. I'll probably get around to it eventually. But I remember at one point in time, everybody was playing The Sims, and I'm sitting at home playing the movies, and it took me a long time to get it to do what I needed it to do. Like, I probably started 4 or 5 times before I was like, all right, yeah, I can play this now.
Yep. It's like, otherwise your actors are getting too fucking drunk or things are catching on fire in your fucking studio before you even put out a hit movie.
Yeah.
I know. I fucked around with that game too.
Yeah.
All right. Any more thoughts on the passing of Lionhead Studios? The passing. Nope. I'm talking like somebody died. Well, a studio died.
Well, technically,
certain games died.
Yeah.
The potential for certain games have died.
Yeah.
What is up with companies? I don't understand what's happening with gaming nowadays, as far as gaming companies closing down and everything is just being against gaming and gamers now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole wave of shit.
It's really frustrating, actually. Like, I mean, because I think about it and I go back and I look at some of my older games that I have 2, 3, 4 generations ago.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't that big, you know what I mean? And they were fun, Now every game got to have this $1 million budget, $1.5 million budget, and then they end up closing down because they didn't make the return on it because they made the game look pretty, but it was shit to play.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of kills me is that when you sit there and you consider that there are AAA titles out there where they're like, hey, we got to sell 6.5 million of these things to break even. Wait, what? Really? I mean,
break even.
That's just sad to think about.